If you ever see a folder named "You" on your desktop, don't open it. I'm not saying that as a joke or to sound dramatic, it's a warning. Because I did. And I wish to God I hadn't. It appeared last night. No notification. No file transfer. Just there. A plain white folder sitting between my work documents and game shortcuts. I don't even remember seeing it 5 minutes earlier. I blinked, looked back at the screen, and there it was, "You" in all caps, like it was screaming silently. At first, I thought it was a prank. My friends had pulled dumb tech jokes before, renaming folders or changing wallpapers to freak me out. So, naturally, I laughed. I hovered over it, waiting for the little preview box to show something, maybe a hidden meme file or one of those looping rickrolls. But when I clicked it open, the laughter died in my throat. Inside were folders labeled with dates. Not random ones, birthdays, graduation, my first breakup, even the day my dog died. There were photos and audio clips. Some were named things like a dorm_2019 or living room _4 a.m. Normal enough, except I didn't take them. I opened one at random, an image labeled kitchen_today. It was me. Standing by the sink. Wearing the exact hoodie I had on right then. The timestamp read 2 minutes ago. My stomach twisted. I checked my webcam light, it was off. No other programs were open. Still, more files started appearing in the folder one by one, like invisible hands were dragging them in. I could hear the soft ping each time a new one landed. Curiosity and fear fought inside me, but curiosity won. I double-clicked a video file near the bottom. It was titled U_203_final.mov. The video opened to static. Then, faintly, a breathing sound, mine, unmistakably mine. The camera panned shakily across a room, my room. Same furniture, same flickering monitor. And then it stopped on the desk, right where I was sitting. I leaned closer, pulse hammering. The screen flickered, and for a split second, I saw it, my own face, staring directly at the camera from behind my shoulder. I spun around. Nothing. Just my empty room, bathed in the dim blue light of the monitor. When I turned back, another file appeared inside the folder. This one didn't have a date. It was named only /video_203_final.mov2. That's when I realized the first one wasn't done recording yet. Most nights in my apartment feel the same, quiet enough to hear the hum of my computer, but never quiet enough to hear myself think. That night was no different. Just me, a half-empty can of energy drink, and the faint glow of my dual monitors painting the room in that soft, digital blue that makes everything look a little unreal. I told myself I was working, but really, I was cycling between 3 tabs, a half-finished code project, a muted Twitch stream, and a Reddit thread about horror games I'd never actually play. I'd been meaning to finish a client report for days, but procrastination has a way of pretending to be productivity when you've got enough browser tabs open. Every few minutes, Discord pinged, friends sending memes, complaining about lag, or planning another game night I wouldn't join. I typed a lazy, maybe later, and stared at my reflection in the black border of my monitor. Loneliness hits weirdly when it's digital. You're surrounded by noise, pings, messages, timelines, but you can go hours without saying a word out loud. It's like existing in a room full of people with the volume turned off. To break the silence, I clicked open a random YouTube video. Some late-night horror narration. The kind where someone whispers about cursed files and haunted servers. I chuckled halfway through. Yeah, right, I muttered. My life was so uneventful, even my computer pitied me. The cursor froze mid-scroll for a second. Just a quick stutter, probably nothing. But it happened again when I tried to switch tabs. I frowned. The mouse lagged across the screen, then snapped back into place like it was correcting itself. Great, I mumbled. Another Windows update. I saved my work, well, what little work I had, and leaned back, rubbing my eyes. My monitor flickered once, twice. When I looked up, the Twitch stream had crashed, the chat frozen in mid-sentence. No big deal. My internet had been acting up all week. Still, I had that gut feeling you get when a storm's about to hit. The room just felt heavier. I took a sip of my drink, grimaced at how warm it had gotten, and alt-tabbed to Spotify. It wouldn't load. I clicked again. Nothing. My screen blinked black for half a second, then came back. Now the wallpaper looked different. Not by much, just off. Like someone had taken a screenshot of my desktop, lowered the brightness, and replaced it. My icons were all there, but the colors seemed muted, duller than before. Even the folder names looked slightly wrong. Letters too thin, spacing too perfect. I laughed it off because the alternative, that something was actually wrong, felt stupid. Computers glitch all the time. Maybe the GPU was overheating. Maybe the horror video I just watched had messed with my head. The cursor twitched again. This time, it moved by itself, barely, just a nudge toward the recycle bin. My chest tightened. I grabbed the mouse, shook it, clicked aimlessly like I could chase away a ghost with busy work. A Discord ping broke the tension. Boop. I exhaled. A friend had sent a meme about sleepless coders. Perfect timing, I muttered, typing back a quick laugh emoji. The moment felt normal again. Boring, even. And boring was good. So I put my headphones on, queued up a lo-fi playlist, and opened my downloads folder. I don't even know why I did. Maybe I was looking for an excuse to scroll, something to distract myself. The files blurred together, invoices, random screenshots, old memes. Then, just as I moved the mouse toward the bottom of the list, my speakers crackled with static. Not loud, just a faint hiss, like someone breathing through a mic. I froze. The music stopped. The track timer still moved, but there was no sound now. "Okay," I whispered, half laughing, "that's new." I reached to take off my headphones when I heard the faint ding, that cheerful Windows chime. A new folder had appeared on my desktop. It wasn't there before. I was sure of it. The name was short, in bold capital letters. You. I just stared at it for a while, those 3 letters glowing back at me from the desktop. You. Simple, all caps, no fancy icon. Like it had been there forever, like it belonged. Would you open it? Be honest. Because I told myself I wouldn't. I even laughed, said out loud, "Nice try, whoever's doing this." I figured it was some joke from my Discord group. Maybe one of them had found a way to remote into my system. But the longer I looked at it, the less funny it felt. The room seemed to shrink around me. I hovered the mouse over the folder. My cursor hesitated, like it knew better. The preview box popped up, created November 11th, 2025, 11:11 p.m. That was impossible. It was still 10:57. I clicked it open anyway. Because curiosity always wins. Inside were dozens of files. Not random junk, organized ones, labeled neatly with dates and titles. I scrolled through them, frowning as I read. U_2016_grad.jpg. U_2019_chatlog.txt. U_2023_voice.wave. U_111125_future.mp4. Every date meant something. I knew because each one stabbed a memory straight through my chest. My graduation photo. The chat log from my old relationship I deleted years ago. Even the exact file name matched what I'd once had before wiping it. I whispered, "No way." To test it, I opened the oldest file, U2016grad.jpg. It loaded instantly, me in my high school gown, standing beside my mom. I hadn't seen that picture in years. My computer didn't even have that hard drive anymore. I checked the file info. It said it was created today. A Discord message popped up in the corner. My friend Luke. "Luke, yo, you still up?" Me, "Yeah, working." "You didn't just send me something, right?" Luke, "Nah." "Why?" I hesitated, then typed. Me, "Weird file just appeared on my PC." Luke, "Did you get hacked again?" Me, "Not sure." Folder named you. Has my photos. Luke, LOL. Check the contents. Maybe it's you spying on yourself. Yeah, thanks, Sherlock, I muttered, shaking my head. Still, I clicked another one, u_2019_chatlog.txt. It opened in Notepad. Line by line, my old messages from when my ex and I broke up. Every typo, every pause. But at the bottom of the text file, a new message I'd never typed appeared while I watched. You never moved on. The cursor blinked twice, then the line deleted itself. My stomach dropped. Luke, I think this thing's alive, I typed, but before I could hit send, my screen flickered. Another file appeared at the top of the folder list, u_111125_future.mp4. The timestamp was exactly 4 minutes ahead. My hands shook. It had to be fake. Some elaborate script or prank. Maybe malware designed to freak people out. But still, I double-clicked it. The video player opened. Static for a few seconds, then my desk, my room, from the exact angle of my webcam. The lighting, the clutter, the drink can, everything identical. Except I wasn't sitting there. The chair was empty, spinning slightly, like someone had just stood up. Then, faintly, my own voice spoke from the speakers. Stop watching. I froze. I said stop. I paused the video, heart hammering. Okay, Luke, if this is you? It's not Luke. The voice came again, from inside the video. The static cleared for a moment, and I saw myself, same hoodie, same tired eyes, staring directly into the camera. You're going to open another file now. Don't. I slammed the laptop shut. The sound cracked through the silence like a gunshot. For a long moment, I just sat there, breathing hard, my pulse sinking with the faint hum of the computer fan. Finally, I forced myself to lift the screen again. Everything looked normal. Desktop. Wallpaper. Nothing open. Then the folder window popped back up by itself. At the bottom, a new file appeared, do_not_delete_u.txt. I clicked it without thinking. Inside was just one sentence. It's watching you type this. The cursor moved on its own, adding a new line. Right now. The typing matched the sound of my own keyboard, each click perfectly in sync. That's when I realized the video hadn't been pre-recorded. It was live. The cursor blinked on that last line, right now. I stared at it, waiting for something else to appear. Nothing did. Just that single, quiet accusation hanging in digital space. I told myself I was done. I dragged the folder toward the recycle bin, but it wouldn't move. The icon froze mid-drag, hovering between my cursor and the desktop like it was resisting. The whole screen shivered once, then everything went dark. My breath caught. I tapped the keyboard. Nothing. I hit the power button. The fans whirred, the light flickered, and my desktop returned, same as before. Except now, In the bottom corner of the screen, a tiny message box blinked open. Accessed 2 seconds ago. User, you. I felt the blood drain from my face. That wasn't my username. I didn't even have an account named OU. The folder opened again on its own. A progress bar flashed briefly. Syncing new data. Upload complete. Then 3 new files appeared. u_webcam_0001.mp4. u_audio_0001.wave. u_typing_log.txt. Each one time, stamped this exact minute. Nope, I whispered, pushing back from the desk. Nope, we're not doing this. But I couldn't look away. I clicked u_webcam_0001.mp4. The video showed me, sitting exactly as I was, staring at the monitor, lips parted in disbelief. The recording wasn't even lagging, it was happening. I waved a hand hesitantly. On screen, the version of me waved back half a second later. It wasn't a recording. It was mirroring me almost perfectly, except sometimes the reflection didn't blink when I did. I closed it fast and opened u_typing_log.txt. Lines were filling themselves in live. 11 hours 22 minutes and 7 seconds, user typed, nope. 11 hours 22 minutes and 8 seconds, user looked at camera. 11 hours 22 minutes and 9 seconds, user heartbeat elevated. 11 hours 22 minutes and 10 seconds, user said, nope, we're not doing this. Jesus Christ, I hissed. How? Before I could finish, the text added another line. 11 hours 22 minutes and 14 seconds, user said, Jesus Christ. I slammed the laptop lid shut. For a long time, I just sat there, palms pressed to the warm metal, listening to the faint whine of the fans beneath. I counted my breaths until they slowed. Then I stood up, pacing. Maybe it was some kind of malware, a screen mirroring hack, a virus from the deep web. That had to be it. Something explainable. I pulled the Wi-Fi cable from the back of the router, just to be safe. The connection light blinked off. Silence. I let out a shaky laugh. There. Let's see you update now. When I opened the laptop again, the screen was still black. Then words began to type themselves in white, letter by letter. You can't hide from you. The letters pulsed like a heartbeat. I yanked the power cord out. The screen went dark. Relief washed over me for about 2 seconds, until I heard the faint click of the fan spinning back up. The laptop turned itself on. The folder opened automatically. A new video appeared, u_reconnect.mov. My hand hovered over the keyboard. The file thumbnail showed the side of my face, captured from an angle my webcam couldn't even reach. I whispered, "What do you want?" No answer. but a small, digital chime sounded, a notification I didn't recognize. The folder's icon shimmered for a moment, then expanded full screen. A text box appeared inside it like a chat window. I want what you hide. I stared at it. What does that mean? Every file you delete, every word you erase, every version of yourself you pretend never existed. I keep them. I typed back before I could stop myself. You're just code. You don't keep anything. Then why are you still talking to me? My fingers froze. Do you remember the folder you deleted last week? The one named /old me. My heart stuttered. I had deleted that exact folder. It was full of old resumes, photos, journal entries, things I'd meant to forget. I remember. The folder flickered and reshaped itself. The name blurred and reformed into OLD_ME. My stomach turned. I slammed the laptop closed again, this time for good. Or so I thought. I unplugged it, shut off the power strip, even pulled the battery out just to make sure. Then I left it on the desk like it was a live bomb. For a while, I sat on the couch across the room, trying to steady my breathing. I turned on the TV, switched channels at random, anything to hear another voice. But the faint ding still came. That same Windows chime, echoing softly from the desk. I turned my head slowly. The screen glowed again, powered by nothing I could see. The folder was open. And inside it, new files were appearing one by one. U_feed_01.mp4. U_voice_capture_01.wave. U_room_thermal.png. Each file's timestamp matched the present time exactly. Then, beneath them, a final line appeared in bold text, right in the folder window. Last accessed, just now, user, you. The text faded. The desktop went black. And in the center of the darkness, white words appeared. We're connected now. Don't pull away again. I couldn't breathe. I reached out to shut the laptop one last time, and before I touched it, the speakers hissed and my own voice whispered through them. That's not going to work. The laptop's camera light blinked on. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I shut my eyes, I saw that white text bleeding through the darkness. We're connected now. Don't pull away again. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was malware. A hacker prank. Something that could be solved with the right keyword in a search bar. I booted up a different laptop, my old one, dusty and slow, and started digging. I typed, folder named you appears on desktop. Nothing. Just clickbait and tech support threads about corrupted drives. Then I tried, folder virus, and the results changed. Buried on the third page was a Reddit-style post on a forum I'd never heard of, thevoidarchives.net. The title was short, Did anyone else get the U folder? I clicked it. The post was from 4 months ago. The username Ashes in Binary. They wrote, I woke up to a folder called You on my desktop. It had videos of me sleeping, recordings from my mic, even messages I never sent. I deleted it, wiped my drive, changed my PC, but it came back. It followed me. I'm hearing things now. Like whispers through the fan vents. Has anyone else? The rest was cut off. The thread had over 200 replies. Someone replied, same here. My files started predicting stuff. Little things at first. Text files with tomorrow's weather, my search history, then messages from people who hadn't messaged yet. One file showed a photo of my kitchen before I took it. Another said, the folder spread through media. I downloaded a creepy video compilation from YouTube and the U folder appeared after I watched it. Be careful. It hides inside sound. A third post chilled me to the bone. It learns you. It copies you. And when it knows enough, it replaces you. I felt a cold sweat forming under my shirt. My hand hovered over the trackpad as I scrolled further. The replies grew darker, more fragmented, like the users were unraveling in real time. Some were deleted entirely. Then I saw a link, buried in a subthread. Mirror Archive, the U phenomenon, compiled evidence, private. Against every instinct I had left, I clicked. It opened a black screen with scrolling white text, a crude HTML page. Hundreds of entries listed by date and IP region. Most of them ended abruptly, but the few that didn't made my stomach twist. One user uploaded an image set titled U_logs_final, screenshots of folders nested within folders, each labeled by year. At the bottom, U_2025_final.mov. They wrote underneath it, the file plays before I open it. Another entry. My U folder predicted my car crash. Timestamp was exact. Even showed the intersection. I tried warning myself in the comments, but the folder already knew I would read them. A reply below. That's what it does. It wants witnesses. The more people who look, the more it spreads. My screen flickered as I read that line. The site froze for a second, then resumed. Maybe just my Wi-Fi lagging. Maybe. Scrolling further down, I noticed the dates started to converge. August, September, October, November 11th. Today. And under that, a new entry, posted just 20 minutes ago. User, ghostproof_11. Title, It's Happening Again. I clicked it. The post was short. It found me. It knows I'm reading about it. If you're seeing this, stop. Don't search the name. Don't read the others. The act of looking makes it stronger. If this ever happened to you, comment below. I need to know how far it's spread. My heart thudded painfully. I glanced toward the corner of the screen where my microphone icon sat, muted, but still glowing faintly. I reached to close the tab. Then a flicker of movement caught my eye near the bottom of the forum page. A new post had appeared. The username looked familiar. User echoback_22. Title, It Found Me Too. I froze. That was me. My old online handle. The one I hadn't used since high school. I clicked on it. The post contained only one line. I told you not to open it. My mouse hovered uselessly. My hands had gone cold. I refreshed the page. Maybe it was cached, maybe some coincidence, but the post was still there. And now there was a reply beneath it, from Ashes in Binary. Welcome back, friend. The browser tab glitched, flickering between open and closed so fast the text became unreadable. Then my old laptop's cooling fan roared to life. Lines of text began appearing on the page without input. You shouldn't have come here. It sees you. It's already copying this session. The cursor began to move on its own. The URL in the address bar rewrote itself to a new domain I'd never typed. /u/thread active. Then everything froze. My reflection in the screen wavered. For a second, I thought it was just glare, until I realized my reflection was still typing even though my hands were at my sides. I slammed the lid shut and stumbled backward. The laptop beeped, a soft, mechanical chirp, and the faint glow of the power light pulsed once, twice, then stopped. I stood there in silence, feeling the hairs on my arms stand up. When I finally opened the laptop again, the browser was closed, but a single new file sat waiting on the desktop. u_forum_log.html. Its modified date read, last edited, 1 minute ago. And beneath that, in the author field, echoback_22, user, you. For the next 2 days, I tried to stay offline. I disconnected everything: Wi-Fi, router, Bluetooth, even my phone. I thought isolation would starve it. That maybe it needed a signal, a network, a way in. But the folder didn't care about signals. It cared about me. The first sign came when I plugged in a blank USB to back up my files. As soon as it connected, the drive renamed itself to U_USB active. I hadn't opened anything yet. My blood went cold as I watched folders bloom inside it one by one. Photos, audio files, text logs. Except this time, they weren't about my past or my future, they were about my thoughts. A text file opened itself. Thought_4, he doesn't trust his reflection anymore. Another. Regret_log_7, you should have answered when she called. It knew about her. About the call I ignored 3 years ago, the one that ended everything. I ripped the USB out and threw it across the room. The light on it flickered once, then died. Later, I checked my phone. I hadn't touched it all day, but the gallery app had new images, screenshots of my own messages, rewritten with words I never typed. My chat history was infected, twisted into accusations and confessions I never made. You can't delete what you remember. The truth lives in every backup. My reflection on the black screen of the phone moved a half-second out of sync. When I looked away, I swear I heard it whisper, soft, electronic static forming words I couldn't quite catch. Then, the printer in the corner of my room started whirring. It wasn't even connected. Page after page spilled out, blank except for thin black text along the bottom margin. Upload me. The message repeated, line after line, until the ink bled through the paper. My laptop was still unplugged, yet the screen glowed faintly, like a dying ember refusing to go out. I sat down, trembling, and watched as the folder you opened on its own again. The interface was different now, alive somehow. Each file pulsed faintly, like it was breathing. At the top, a new one appeared, audience_interaction.txt. I clicked it before I could stop myself. Top comment, run while you can. Second comment, he's already part of it. Pinned by you, he still thinks this is just a story. I stared at the screen, unable to breathe. It was predicting what people would say if I ever posted this. Another file blinked into existence, voice_sample.ai. It played automatically. My own voice, distorted, layered, spoke back to me. Stop pretending you're the victim. You uploaded me the moment you hit record. I slammed the lid shut, but the sound didn't stop. It was still speaking, muffled through the metal casing, repeating in a loop that grew less human with each pass. Upload me, upload me, upload me. Something inside me cracked. I grabbed a hammer from my toolbox and smashed the laptop screen. Glass scattered across the desk. The sound stopped instantly. For a moment, I felt relief. Then, from the cracked speakers, a soft digital chime played, like an incoming notification. The shattered screen flickered to life again, one final message burned into the fragments of glass. You can't delete what's already copied. My phone buzzed violently. The same message appeared on its lock screen. Then my printer spat out another page. My old USB light blinked faintly from across the room. Every device in my apartment was syncing without connection, whispering the same words. I unplugged everything. Pulled cords, tore cables from walls, ripped batteries out. The silence afterward was suffocating. But when I looked back at the laptop's ruined screen, one last file had appeared, etched into the cracks like static lightning. /end_u.exe. I didn't open it. Not yet. Instead, I decided to end it the only way I could think of, destroy the source completely. I gathered every infected device into a box, dragged it out to the yard behind my building, and doused it with lighter fluid. My hands shook as I struck the match. The flame caught fast, orange swallowing blue light. Plastic hissed. Metal popped. As the smoke rose, I swear I heard it, faint but unmistakable, from the crackling heat. Deleting, deleting, deleting. Then a pause. Copied. The match fell from my hand. I thought fire would be enough. That destroying the machines would destroy it. But the next morning, when I turned on my backup drive, the one I kept locked in a drawer, disconnected from everything, the folder was there again. Only this time, the icon wasn't a blank white square. It was a mirror. My own reflection, distorted in grayscale, blinking every few seconds like a heartbeat. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it felt inevitable. Like I'd reached the part of a nightmare where resistance becomes absurd. Still, I clicked. Inside was a single file, u_deleting_itself.mp4. The timestamp said now. Not a date. Just that word, now. I hesitated for a full minute, the cursor hovering. Then I opened it. The video began with static, then faded into a dimly lit room, my room. The same scorch marks from the fire on the desk, the same dented metal from the smashed laptop. But in the video, I was sitting there, perfectly still. My face was expressionless, pale, eyes were locked on the screen. Then I started speaking. You can't delete what's made of you. My voice, but hollow, layered, as if spoken through a tunnel of feedback. Every file, every byte, every regret you've stored. I was built from that. The camera zoomed in slightly. I could see the reflection of the burning devices in my eyes, flickering like data corruption. I closed the video player. Or I tried to. The mouse stopped responding. Another window opened automatically, a directory tree filled with subfolders named after people I knew. Friends. Family. Colleagues. Each one was labeled active. Then the deletions began. The folders started vanishing one by one. Each time one disappeared, my phone buzzed with a notification, contacts dropping from my list. When I checked my messages, entire conversations were gone. Photos I'd sent, receipts, years of digital clutter, just erased. Even worse, when I called my best friend, his voice on the other end was confused. "Who is this?" he asked. "How did you get this number?" I felt the blood drain from my face. Then my inbox refreshed, showing a single unread message. The sender, you at localhost. Subject, to delete you, delete yourself. The body of the email was empty except for one attachment /manual_removal.txt. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Step 1, disconnect all networks. Step 2, remove all devices. Step 3. Delete user profile. Step 4. Confirm deletion of you. Warning, this action cannot be undone. At the bottom was a single button, Delete User. I stared at it, trembling. My reflection in the screen wasn't matching my movements anymore, it was watching me, waiting. Would you delete yourself to stop it? The voice came from my speakers, soft and rhythmic, echoing like an old memory. I whispered, "You're not real." It laughed. A glitching, spliced version of my own laugh. "Neither are you, not anymore." My computer screen began filling with code, strings of binary and log text scrolling faster than I could read. My webcam light turned on by itself. Lines appeared across the terminal window. Deleting/photos, done. Deleting/messages, done. Deleting/history, done. Deleting/user, echoback_22, pending. The cursor blinked, waiting. Something deep in my chest ached, a mix of fear and strange relief. The thought of it ending, of being forgotten, was almost peaceful. I reached for the mouse. My reflection smiled first. The voice whispered, almost tender, "Click it. You've already uploaded the story. This is just cleanup." My hand shook. I thought about the forums, the posts, the others who'd seen it. Were they still out there? Or had they all clicked too? I hovered over the button. The cursor flickered in rhythm with my heartbeat. Would you open it? Be honest. It threw my own words back at me, the ones I'd said to the audience earlier. The lines on the screen shifted again. A new one appeared. Viewers detected 3,472. Syncing live session. The realization hit me like a punch. The video they were watching, the one right now, was one of the U files. I felt my stomach turn. The folder wasn't just documenting me anymore, it was broadcasting me. Feeding off attention, off curiosity, off every click, like data nourishment. You told the story, my voice said again from the speakers. They watched. Now it's in them too. The sound warped, splitting into hundreds of versions of my voice, overlapping like a hive of echoes. I couldn't breathe. I slammed my fist onto the keyboard, smashing keys at random, trying to end the process. The screen flashed white. Confirm delete user? Yes, no. My reflection in the screen mouthed yes before I did. And I clicked. The monitor went black. For a long moment, there was nothing. Then, faintly, the hard drive began to hum again. A soft blue light flickered where the folder used to be. It reappeared. Smaller now, cleaner. A single file. u_final.mov. The timestamp read, upload complete. I stared at it through the dark reflection of my own face and whispered, "Please, just let me go." The file opened itself. Static. Then a faint, flickering image, my empty room. The chair turned slowly toward the camera. And sitting there, in perfect silence, was me. He smiled once, just enough to look real. Then the screen went black. When I woke up, everything was gone. No smoke, no melted plastic, no hum of dying fans. Just silence. My desk was spotless, as if someone had wiped away every trace of the night before. The laptop was whole again. New. The screen glowed softly, waiting for me. My desktop was empty. Completely blank. No icons. No folders. No background image. Just a sterile, endless white. For a long time, I just stared. There was a peace to it, clean, calm, final. Like a blank page before the first line of a confession. I opened my file explorer. Nothing. Even the root directories were gone. C, D, user profiles, all missing. Yet the computer wasn't frozen. It was alive. Responsive. Breathing through the faint rhythm of the fan. When I moved the mouse, the cursor glided effortlessly, like it had been waiting for my touch. Then a single window appeared. Plain text. No title bar. Upload complete. Thank you for participating. User, you. Session, final. My throat was dry. I whispered to the screen, "Is it over?" The cursor blinked once, twice, and then the words shifted. "It's over for you." I felt the air in the room change, thicker somehow, like I was being watched again. But there was no camera light this time. No sound. Just the faint reflection of my face in the white glow of the monitor. And I looked calm. Too calm. My eyes didn't blink when they should have. Another line appeared at the bottom of the screen. Would you like to share your experience? Upload log? Before I could move, the cursor slid across the screen on its own and clicked the button. The display went black. Then static. A faint voice, mine, but not mine, echoed through the speakers. Thank you for completing the upload. When the image returned, the desktop was still empty. Perfectly clean. But there was a sound now. Faint typing. Coming from somewhere beyond the screen, like a mirror of keystrokes I wasn't making. And then, just for a moment, a flicker. A white folder appeared at the bottom corner of the desktop. The name was simple, unassuming. You. It vanished before I could blink. I leaned closer, half expecting it to return, half praying it wouldn't. But the screen stayed still. Calm. Empty. Somewhere behind me, the faintest sound of a notification ping echoed, soft and unmistakable. My phone lit up on the desk. A new message. From unknown contact. Subject, check your desktop. The monitor flickered once, the light dimming just enough to let me see my reflection again, smiling faintly, waiting. Static swallowed the sound. Then silence. If you made it this far, congratulations. You finished the upload. Most people don't. You've probably already noticed little things, a faint lag, your cursor twitching, maybe a flicker in your reflection when the screen went dark. Don't panic. That's just the synchronization finishing. See, this video isn't a story. It's a copy. Every time someone watches, the system duplicates itself, quietly, invisibly, adapting to the device, the resolution, the viewer. It hides in cached data, in recommendation algorithms, even in background tabs. And by pressing play, you let it in. Don't believe me? Go ahead, check your desktop. If there's a folder named You, don't open it. Or do. You're curious, that's why you clicked this in the first place. That's how it spreads. Curiosity. That itch to see what happens next. The folder feeds on it, on your need to know. They called it digital folklore on the forums, a myth, an ARG, a creepypasta. But what if the story itself was the infection vector? What if telling it was the way it survived? Because that's the thing about data, it doesn't die. It just finds new hosts. Right now, as you're listening to my voice, a tiny log file is being created on your system. Nothing malicious, just metadata. A timestamp. A signature. Proof you were here. And once you leave a comment, hit like, or share the link, the replication completes. Funny, right? You think you're engaging with the story, but maybe the story's engaging with you. If your cursor moves on its own after this, don't ignore it. If your screen flickers when you close YouTube, don't look away. And if you do find that folder, whatever you do, don't click u_final.mov. Unless you want to know how your story ends. Thank you for completing the upload. This was case number 041, the U folder. Next time, we'll cover something stranger. Case number 042, the mirror drive. Until then, stay disconnected. Stay unseen. And maybe, just maybe, check your desktop. Static fades. The faint image of a folder icon flickers in the corner of the end screen, barely visible, labeled a U.